Alright, so I finally seen the Black Panther last night, and I just want to give my feedback on it. As far as in relation to the martial arts, what I liked most about the movie was basically the symbology of what the characters were representing in relation to the martial arts. I was never into superhero movies. Um, I'm not into those movies with all these special effects. So aside from all that stuff, it's irrelevant to me. Um, I wanted to support the movie because, because of the black community. I feel that the movie is beneficial to represent all minorities, including Chinese people. And it's the success of that movie is representing a success for all minorities. As far as the fight scenes are concerned, I didn't like the fight scenes. To me, it's not. They're not like real martial art fight scenes. The times of Bruce Lee, I don't think it'll ever happen again. But these fight scenes are not like. They're not like real martial artists. You know, they both are in great shape. You know, they both are ripped, but it's like having two bodybuilders fight it out. It's not the same as having two martial artists. So you remember the fight scene with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris? Those are actually two martial artists. They're not acting the fight. Bruce Lee was practicing for over 20 years. Chuck Norris was practicing for over 20 years. And they're like two martial artists fighting. And that is a real martial arts fight. But what's happening in this movie is like just putting in like Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Sylvester Stallone. They're not real. They're not martial artists. They're bodybuilders, and they just have good-looking physiques, but they don't know how to fight. It's like the difference between like a real boxer, like say like a Mike Tyson or Floyd Mayweather, compared to like Rocky Balboa. Rocky's not a real boxer. So when you practice martial arts for so long and you watch these movies where it's not real fighting, but it's just people with good looking physiques just duking it out, it's not, there's no appeal to that. So not just with this movie, but all movies out there, Spider-Man, Batman, none of these people are martial arts, and I don't think we'll ever see that ever again. Another thing is, even if the person is skillful in the martial arts, you might have the stunt choreographer or the fight choreographer that steps in between to dictate how he thinks it should go, and then he just ruins the whole thing, and it doesn't even allow the martial artist to really set up the fight scene the way that it really should be. Okay, so I'm not praising the movie because of the fight scenes. I'm not praising the movie because of the special effects, because I'm not into that stuff either. The parts that I thought were, that I didn't like, that I thought were kind of childish, when the guy's in the plane shooting down things, feels like a Star Wars movie. I mean, I'm not into that either. But what I went into is the storyline. Now I feel in the movie the Black Panther character is representing like the real martial arts to me. It's like he's like a compassionate, loving leader. And there's a scene when he's like, well, he's like, I'm not ready. And that's, he's talking to his father. He's like, I'm not ready to be a king. And he's even kneeling down to his father. His father's like, get up, you're a king now. He's like the real martial artist who's like humble. He doesn't want to rule over people. He's not overconfident. He's not arrogant. He's somebody who's very humble inside. And he doesn't feel that he's ready. He's not addicted to power. And He's surrounded by women that are protecting him, and the woman is balancing that energy. That's like that loving, compassionate energy that's balancing out that yang energy. He was loved by many people, and when they thought he died, everybody was just heartbroken. He was protected by a woman that was like his queen, and she gave him the strength. She pretty much reunited his strength. She brought him back to life because of her love, and that allowed him to fulfill his destiny. So it's like a martial artist who has the help of his lover to inspire the world. Bruce Lee had literally, I have my lover. Like when you have that feminine energy backing you up, that is one of the key elements to helping you reach your potential. That Michael Jordan guy, there's something about him. I never liked him. I hated the movie Creed. And when I watched this movie, I even know why, even more why I don't like that guy at all. Is because this guy is very egoistic. Extremely egoistic. And he's pretty much representing the fighter. So the Black Panther's representing the martial artist, Michael Jordan is representing the fighter. And this person, okay, Michael Jordan is very strong. Maybe even stronger than the Black Panther, physically. But it's not just about pure strength. It's about that inner wisdom. It's about that compassion. It's about that love. It's about that intelligence. Michael Jordan was just not somebody who was qualified to become a leader. And he had like a evil heart. He didn't even have a heart. He just killed his girlfriend like nothing. Killed, what's that guy's name again? Forrest Whitaker. He killed him like no problem. And then he just killed Black Panther like no problem. He didn't have a problem killing women. He'll kill anything that got in his way. All he cared about was power. And he was just killing everybody. And the movie, I'm just like tensing up because I didn't want him to succeed. I didn't feel good to see him killing people. It didn't feel good to see Black Panther die the first time. It's like you're like inside, you're cheering for the Black Panther to come back and be the leader. It's like that's the movie's representing it's a beautiful contrast to show you the difference between what a martial artist is supposed to be, the Black Panther, and somebody who just went the wrong direction. Now they're both fit. You look at them, they're both fit. Even Michael Jordan's character looks even, he's even buffer. But it's not just all about that. Who has the intelligence? Who has the wisdom? Black Panther had the intelligence. Black Panther had the wisdom. Michael Jordan just had buff body. Okay, they both were skillful in combat in the movie. Not in real life, but in the movie, supposedly. They're supposed to represent that. So they both have these powers. But who has the intelligence? Who has the love? Who has the compassion? It was the Black Panther. And when you're watching the movie and you notice within yourself, where do you gravitate? Were you cheering for the Black Panther? If you were, then you're pretty much inside. You want to represent the real martial arts. But if you're cheering for Michael Jordan and you saw what he was doing and you enjoyed that, inflicting pain and misery on the people and just basically trying to overtake the whole world, then your heart is going towards the fighters. That's like the competitiveness, that ego, that arrogance. And he has that energy in the Creed as well, and it's like it's not just in him in the movie, in the role, it's in him as a person. You know, like, and I'm repelled by that energy. I don't care how fit and strong this person is. It's not a good person. You know, and he's playing a character in the movie, and I'm criticizing the character. But there's people out there in real life that are like that. So when you got boxers, when you got cage fighters, they don't mind just stomping on people, putting people in the hospital, killing people to get on top. That's not what martial arts is about. Even in that fight scene, you know, at the beginning, Black Panther was challenged by that one big dude, and the big dude was trying to kill Black Panther, but Black Panther, he didn't want to kill the big guy, even though he could have. He didn't want to. He had compassion. He didn't want to kill him. You know, he got him in this chokehold. He's like, you know, give up, please give up. Your people need you. And then the guy finally gave up, and then he lived. That's compassion. That's what a martial artist is. That's what he does. He doesn't want to kill people unless he really has to. You know, that was a symbol. But the Michael Jordan dude, as soon as he challenged Black Panther, his objective was to kill him. And he did kill him. And he even killed the Forrest Whitaker. You know, it's just, and even when the Black Panther was fighting the Michael Jordan dude, he was, you know, he stabbed him, and then the Michael Jordan dude was dying, but he had compassion. He's like, hey, you know, let me let him die while seeing the beauty of this place. And then he even offered, hey, you know, I think I could revive you. You know, like this Black Panther person, he did not enjoy killing people. But he knew if he didn't kill this guy, that the whole world would suffer. So he had to do it. But the Michael Jordan dude has no problem killing anybody. You know, it's like he'll kill his mom, he'll kill his dad, he'll kill his brother, he'll kill anybody to be on top. And that's what a fighter represents. That's what, there's people out there in this world, that's how they are. There's politicians that are that way. Adolf Hitler was like that. You know, all these conquerors, that's what they do. These fighters, these boxers, that's what they do. But martial artists are not that. Martial artists are humble, and he was representing that. Martial artists are surrounded by love. That's why he had all those women around him protecting him. Martial artists are compassionate. That's what happened in those two fights that he was in. He didn't want to kill him. You know, martial artists are fit. He was fit. Martial artists know how to fight. He knew how to fight. Martial artists are spiritual. They're good people. They are the people that should be the leaders. They are not corrupted people. And that energy from the Black Panther, you could feel that energy, and it's that good energy. But the Michael Jordan dude was just so far corrupted. There's no turning back. It's a lost cause. And the more power that you give him, the worse that it's going to be for this world. So that's why I don't teach publicly. Because I don't want the fighters to know what I know. What I know is for the good people. What I know is for the martial artists. You cannot just give more power to people that are irresponsible, that are unwise, that are not intelligent. You can't make them more powerful. By doing so, you are contributing to the destruction of this world. So, in the movie, that those blue vials of like this energy, this secret energy, this powerful energy, that's like the martial arts. Like, it's not for everybody. And these fighters, the stronger that they get, the more skillful that they get, the more difficult they will be to overcome. So martial artists are gonna have a hard time overcoming these fighters because they're strong. They could fight. These cage fighters are strong. They could fight. It's like the Michael Jordan character is pretty much like somebody who's strung up on steroids, and he could fight. And you got the martial artist who's natural, who's not on steroids, and he's gotta be the best that he could possibly be in order to beat these fighters. But it's not just about, who's stronger, who's fitter, who could fight better. It's about the inside as well. And that was really well symbolized in that movie. And I think that movie could be a great movie to keep in your mind, like what it really means to be a martial artist compared to a fighter. And it's in my heart to be a martial artist. And it just also represents the power of women and how important they are in this world, and how important they are within a king's life, a leader's life. Without the women protecting him and reviving him, he would have just died, and the whole world would have suffered. So it just shows how important the women are for a king's survival, for a king's ability to help the people. The king can't do it by himself. He needs his queen. He needs the woman behind him with that loving energy, that compassionate energy to propel him forward to help the people. So it was a great movie, but not because of the special effects, not because of the fight scenes, but because of what it was symbolizing. And that is a great symbol for what the martial arts is, compared to just somebody who just wants to be violent with the techniques that he learns in the martial arts. So I really encourage people to watch the movie and really analyze what's going on. And hopefully, it gets you to feel something inside it gets you to express the martial arts the way that it should be expressed.